Mine is an observation and a question. One, a lot of tonight's discussion was centered around the need for constitutional change as a means of protection. I know you spoke about what's happening in Belize, and I think it was the guy at the back who talked about a cultural war, and that we should not think that winning one court case was all it would take. And my question is, because we see time and time again that even with laws in place to protect against certain human rights violations, it's still a core. What is SASOD and other organizations like the one Deliver represents are doing to tackle stuff like police brutality, discrimination in the workplace? Because we should not think that an amendment to legislation is going to fix all of this. What are we doing in that regard? Or what is needed to be done?
Right.
I'm kind of a cynical with it, I think, because I don't really have a lot of faith in people and change and people changing. So I look at facts and I try to take these things. No, so this is what I'm saying. If you listen to what Margo read based on Mr. Granger's statements, if you really listen to what he was saying, he was very measured in his speech.
Yes.
So yes, he spoke about what's happening overseas, but then he also said we can't run away from the people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's profound. Because what he's saying is that yes, we will pay attention to best practices other places and we will pay attention to human rights, but at the same time, we can't run away from the people. And so that is something that must be paid attention to.
Yep.
In addition to that, I also note Ruel's statements about the loudmouth Edgel and the other guy. Well, I can't remember the year it was, but and Joy, you can probably assist me. When the legislation, I think it was passed to add
sexual orientation
or to bar discrimination based on sexual orientation as well as gender identity, I think it was.
It was sexual orientation alone.
Wasn't it passed and then it was refused assent by the president, if I remember correctly? Why? So and if my memory doesn't. Sorry, I know I'm young, but sometimes. But I think it was opposition on the part of the community which stepped up, and the policymakers, considering their supporters, were the ones who said, you know something, let's step back. So linking that with that.
Which community?
Religious.
No,
religious community. I think it was in the religious, but like I said, I can't
It
remember.
was the religious community headed by Edgel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Specifically.
But
So yeah, it goes back to that same
fine. And there was also you also said, Joel, that 58% of Guyanese. I think I actually used. I think Joel sent me that same research for an assignment that I did at UG, and 58% of Guyanese are tolerant. But does tolerance translate to acceptance, and does it then translate into them being willing to be in favor of legislative change? Because I did some amount of surveys for the assignments, and in engaging persons from different spectrums, from different backgrounds, you find that persons are against discrimination, persons being denied jobs based on their sexual orientation, etc. You find that persons believe that there should be laws, persons believe that police officers should treat them the same way, but when you ask them if they believe that the legislation to decriminalize same-sex intimacy, they have an issue with that.
Right.
So these are some of the considerations that we must remember when these things are approaching.
Yeah.
I have to say that.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. I'm going to try to answer you and Kurt at the same time, and then also open up to the panel for last comments and closing views. You're right. In 2001, the amendments, the comprehensive amendments to the Constitution, which included sexual orientation as grounds for discrimination, passed Parliament unanimously. The petition at the time, it was first Janet Jagan. It was in that period we had Janet Jagan for a short while, and then Barra Jagio. Not to send the bill, although it passed Parliament unanimously, and send it back to Parliament. By the time it got back to Parliament, it was 2003. And this is when the conversations were very heavy in the media and so on, and that's actually how SASOD started. We were at university, and we said, we're only hearing one voice. We're only hearing Edgel, this Roger, I don't remember the surname now. This Roger guy, a couple of, these are we're not hearing any kind of progressive voices chiming in and so on, and that's how we decided to start as Students Against Sexual Orientation Discrimination. So look, we're going to add another view to this debate. One is informed by research, one is informed by evidence, and so on. And what happened in 2003 is the PPP government did an unprecedented thing. There wasn't even a vote on the legislation when it came back. They took sexual orientation and put it in an amendment by itself, and they put all the other constitutional amendments in a separate bill. So then they stigmatized the thing, but this thing became known as the sexual orientation bill. So you already signaled something by putting this alone in one bill. And everything else, including other amendments to the same Article 149 discrimination clause in another comprehensive bill. And they presented it to Parliament. They had a majority in Parliament in 2003. They presented it to Parliament and said, although we're presenting this bill for reading, we have no intention of supporting it. And first of all, you need a majority to pass legislation, but constitutional amendments also require a 2/3 majority. So the PPP government shot the bill dead in its foot from day one by doing something like that. How can you present something and say you have no intention of supporting it, although you're presenting it? So we have this fanciful dance in Parliament where the PPP got one person to stand up and say that they support sexual orientation and LGBT rights, and one person to say that they're against it, and the opposition, PNCR, at the same time did the same thing. One person got up and say, man from UG, Constitutional Commission guy, and names are failing me tonight, got up and said, Vincent Alexander, yes, largely in support and so on, and he's deceased now, Derek Bernard, said, I have challenges, and so on. So they played politics with it, more or less. So you're very right about that. You're also correct about the point that tolerance isn't acceptance. At grad school, we talked about tolerance being negative neutrality. It means I respect you now that I don't want to beat you up or I don't want to kill you, in simple terms. But I'm saying that we don't have a majority of a population that is aggressively or outwardly homophobic. No, this is where the education gap is with the society. And I think how things are sensationalized in the media play a huge role in that. What people understand by decriminalizing homosexuality and repealing the laws against same-sex intimacy and cross-dressing is that you are saying that it's a promotion of, that by doing that you're promoting homosexuality, you're promoting cross-dressing, you're trying to spread something. That is what the language that the media constantly uses of legalizing homosexuality and so on. That is the imagery that is presented. All that you're doing with decriminalization is removing discriminatory laws from the books. Now, you're right that the majority of people say they don't believe police should beat up people, they don't believe that people should be discriminated against in the workplace. That position is at odds with legislation that should criminalize people, which causes those exact things. That position is at odds with that. But to them, repealing these laws, decriminalizing, means promotion, spreading, promoting, and that sort of thing. And that's what we got to the education, and that's the area that we really need to fill in terms of public education, getting people to understand that gap. And to answer your question a little bit more specifically, Kurt, we definitely recognize, like Prince said, that there's cultural issues, there are deep cultural issues related to gender and social norms and so on. And we know the experience of places like South Africa, which have sexual orientation in the Constitution, and which have gay marriage since 1999, but has a great deal of homophobic violence. There's corrective rape against lesbian women. Situations really, really bad, even with the best of legislative protections. So we know that legislation is not the be-all and end-all. And for us, we're not solely or largely just focused on legislation. Legislative and policy change is important in the long term because the next generation of people growing up with laws which protect people, which respect human rights, that will also shape their own views that also shapes the culture of the society to grow up in that. So that's important, I think, in the long term. I think changing the laws and stuff like that will have more of an impact for the next generation and the current one. But what we have to change is culture, is views and perceptions that reduce people wanting to be violent towards people just based on their sexual orientation, gender identity, discriminate against them in the workplace, in whatever sectors, in education, in healthcare, so that people are able to access healthcare. And in all of those areas, we're doing specific work and working with specific stakeholders. In the area of education, we're working now, and we've always been with the Ministry of Education and with UNICEF and with other partners around comprehensive sexuality education in school, because that's also an important element. We believe that school curriculum needs to teach children about, in age-appropriate ways, about sexual and gender diversity, so that they themselves don't beat up on their peers, and we reduce homophobic and transphobic bullying in schools. We're working as well on discrimination in workplace. We're doing sensitization with employers. We're partnering with the Guyana, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and then we also now started working more increasingly with the Guyana Business Coalition on health awareness, forming the Guyana Business Coalition on HIV/AIDS. We're looking to work with PSC and so on, and we're making the rounds with all of these stakeholders to do sensitization in the workplace and so on. So we believe that, and I can go on and on with that kind of education, and you know, some of it is general public education aimed at changing societal views. Some of you might have heard of PSAs on the radio. There's 3 of them out there on equal rights and so on here on the radio. We've done a number of our own documentaries, which have put faces and stories there. They've largely been the narrative of abuse and violence and so on. So I take the point rightly too that there has to be a proactive stories which is more than a single narrative, right? And we're going to be doing more and more of that work. But our approach is, it has to be a comprehensive one of not just changing laws and policies, and you certainly won't see the immediate effects of changing laws and policies, except in one area. If you amend the Prevention of Discrimination Act to include sexual orientation and gender identity, if I face discrimination in the workplace and I have a case, at least I could go to the courts and challenge it. And then that might prevent that employer that reads about how I've won millions of dollars against him from doing the same thing to somebody else. So there's certain immediate benefits of laws which offer protection from discrimination.